Good afternoon, boys and girls. So, I find myself in the rather unusual situation in that I told someone that something that they had found outside of a dumpster, a Marshall combo amplifier, should be given to me because I could easily fix it and put it all back together, and it would be wonderful because, of course, I can do anything. It was a 40 watt Marshall valve state. I was a big fan of valve state. I had an 8100, gosh, I think back in 1990 that I really liked. And what's the best way to put it? Well, I dug into it. Long story short, the Marshall was just trashed. It looked like it'd been left outside in the rain. I could see that someone had tried to repair the circuit board once before. Everything was torn to pieces, but remember, I've opened my mouth and said I could do something with it. I thought to myself, well, I could maybe take that frame and put some sort of hand-wired point-to-point amplifier in it and use the speakers. Before I could even do that, I found this little guy on Craigslist. This is a hand-wired, point-to-point, 6V6, 10-watt amplifier. And believe it or not, I acquired it from the guy that made it for $100, if you can believe that. Somebody acquired all of these things, hand-wired it, and then sold it for $100. Given that I can't get these parts for $100, it seems silly of me not to get this. Have a look at the case that this came in. This is an old, or I shouldn't say old, but this Marshall box right here. I still want to make use of it and somehow put this in this box. I've already decided, having tested the Celestion speakers that are in here. You can see my little test jig that I don't want to use these particular speakers. Not that I don't like Celestion, I'm just not fond of these particular speakers. So at a minimum, I'm going to put this box back to use, and I think the plan will be to get a single 12 Celestion blue, the little 15-watt blue Alnico speaker that the Vox originally used and guys like Brian May used. It's definitely an early sort of rock and roll speaker, and if I remember correctly, that's a 15-watt speaker. I should be able to pair it just fine with this push-pull little amp that I have here. And I'm going to somehow get it to all fit inside of this box and make it look nice. And gosh, welcome along for the ride for that. All because I said I could do it. And it'd probably be easier just to throw it all away and pretend it never happened. But I'm gonna turn this into something practical and something useful. So here I've started removing, gosh, I've taken out one of the baffles. I've started popping the screws out of it. That's the reverb tank. I'm gonna probably make something out of the reverb tank. That's my helper. He is definitely ready to help. Upon removing the wheels, because I have no need for this rattly thing, I can see that these wheels must have been added later by someone. Here's where they added the wheels. You can see where they ripped the Tolex up because they didn't, pre-punch those out. Instead of bolting them in, they used really crappy short screws, flatheads, you can see, basically into chipboard. I can see why this thing ended up in the garbage. Yes, thank you, Mr. Kitty. Here is what I've pulled off this amp so far. We've got the circuit board housing that, I'll keep it. I'll find a use for it. I'm sure I can find a use for that power transformer and for this switch. I'm trying to be as positive as I can be, because this was really a budget amplifier, and there's a lot in it. I'm just trying to find the value. So I'll continue to strip this down. These are the parts that I pulled off of the cabinet. It's corner pieces, it's screws, it's handles, the reverb tank. This is usable. I could probably make a little circuit. I could maybe make a little spring reverb guitar pedal. That might be fun. And here's where we're at the moment. We've pulled our parts. I'm a little bit disappointed. I shouldn't be surprised. The cabinet appears to be chipboard. So I think I'm going to try to use a piece of lively wood for the speakers. Something that will have a little bit of life to it. Something, maybe pine board might do the trick. So that's where we're at. Here's what we've done. You can see my shop is a mess, and the kitty is in his playpen because he wouldn't stop playing with things. So here's the progress report. I've bondoed and sanded smooth as much as I can the shell that this thing was in. It's just made of MDF, and seriously, no one's ever gonna see it. I've cut a little frame that's gonna sit 3/4 of an inch inside this box. Attached to that frame will be this 3/4 inch pine board or baffle, however you wish to call it. That should resonate kind of nicely. My plan is to use T-nuts and bolt this in to the frame, bolt the baffle to the frame, kind of size everything up, and then disassemble it, and then get busy putting the grill and probably mounting the speaker. And once I get that in, I can start to think about the placement of the amplifier itself and getting ready for the Tolex. So progress is being made. All right, I'm getting ready, or getting close to anyways, final assembly. Let's do a quick review. I've got my Celestian Blue Alnico speaker. I'm pretty thrilled about that. I've got a baffle that's been cut. I'm gonna have to drop in some T-nuts. I've got the frame that the baffle will bolt to. I have the 10-watt hand-wired amplifier. Oh, and I did add just some blue tube shields. No one's ever gonna see it, but I did that for me. I have myself some what they call silver tinsel piping. I have my grill and my Tolex. I have my handle. I have my feet or my legs and the T-nuts that go with that. I have a bag of assorted ends and pieces. It is so hard to order those online, and you're just at some parts company and you're like, I don't know, is this gonna fit on my edge? I do have the originals. I didn't tear them up when I took them apart, so I could definitely use those. We'll just have to play with that by ear. Next, I need to sand this Bondo down a little bit better. I've got 46 holes I have to put in this box, and then I can begin with the Tolex, and that's where we're at.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've actually skipped ahead to the end of the video, or the end of the project. I had a custom cover made for the box once I was finished with it, probably to just keep my cat from chewing it up. So I have my cat protection. This was a difficult build. I didn't include the video of me covering myself in glue trying to Tolex this. The only advice I would give for Tolexing is to start with something really simple, like like a board, and see if you can Tolex that and work your way around. I did add a little automotive hot rod emblem to the box. You can see my piping's not perfect. Really, I cut the frame just a little bit too big. I didn't take into consideration all the things that were going to go into that. It was just a little wider than I thought it was going to be. I mean, apart from that, it looks perfectly fine. It sounds fine. You can hear that right back there. It's a good sounding amp. It's got a lot of bite. It's very responsive. So I'm really pleased with it. In the end, it's just not bad. Some of the T-nuts I've learned that Tolex will wrap around everything really tight. So if your wood's not smooth, or if there's some sort of like a T-nut or something underneath, you're definitely gonna see it. But I'm pleased. It works. I was able to keep something out of the garbage. And I have a really good sounding little 10-watt amp. And I'm happy with the final result. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. And I think I'll just take it out, playing a little bit. I'm not, I'm not like a blues guitarist or anything. And this amp definitely wants jazzy blues stuff. Oh, there's the kitty. By the way, if you do this kind of work, you, again, most certainly need a cat. Even a dog, but cats are always way more helpful in these things when you're doing work. They will help you like you just would not believe.